Hi! Welcome everyone to A4's Town Hall on Healing. I'm Lisa Gold, the Executive Director A4 of the Asian American Arts Alliance, or A4 for short, and I'm very, very thrilled to have you all here with us tonight. I want to thank all of our friends at Prime Produce for being such good hosts here. Thank you. Who's been to a town hall before? Can you raise your hand? Oh, okay, so we have a lot of new people here tonight. So those of you who aren't familiar with Town Hall or A4, so this is one of our signature events. We are a 41-year-old arts organization, a nonprofit supporting Asian American and Pacific Islander artists and arts organizations across all disciplines. We support artists through resource sharing, promotion, community building, events like this. So ignore my dog, or you can say hi to her. She's harmless. Her name is Maka. She loves coming to Town Hall. So this, like I said, this is one of our signature events. We've been doing this for well over 10 years, and it's a great way to bring people together around a common theme or interest or discipline. We do different things every other month. I didn't say a Town Hall happens every other month. The next one will be in July, and that is on film and media. And that will be at ICP, the International Center for Photography, Lower East Side. Sorry, I just had a glitch there for a second. So going back to community, so I just want to remind everybody of our community statement, go over this. I know everybody saw it and signed it when they signed up for the event, but I just wanted to just share this in the aim of health and healing tonight. We aim to create environments in person and online that are welcoming, inclusive, and safe, both physically and emotionally, for community members. And if we observe actions or behaviors that can be interpreted as harmful or threatening, we retain the right to use our discretion and remove any offending parties. For our community safety, we further reserve the right to suspend an offending party's attendance at A4 events, both in person and virtual, in perpetuity, and removal from our online offerings. So be nice to everybody. I'm going to share a couple of protocols. As you have probably ascertained, we are recording this event. We'll be posting it online later. It's on our YouTube channel, so you can see all our past town halls. It's very exciting. I'm going to ask that you silence your phones, just to be nice to everybody who's speaking. If you're interested in restrooms, they're right out the door here, across from the entrance. They're all gender, all species, all everything. The Wi-Fi, if you need it, it's Prime Produce NYC guest, and the password is Prime Produce, all lowercase. It's up on the wall over here by the camera too, if you need it. Okay, so because we have a lot of new people here, I'm going to tell you how Town Hall works and how it's going to go tonight. So we have two amazing featured presenters, and we have two groups of short pitches, which are 2 minutes each. And I have I have a timer here that will go off at the end of 2 minutes if you're doing a 2-minute pitch. So please be mindful, because we have a lot of people tonight. So after our first featured presenter, I will call the names. They'll also appear on a slide here. So just get ready to go when your name is called. And we'll repeat the process, same thing after the second featured presenter. Then after everybody who's pre-registered for a 2-minute pitch has had their chance, if you want to make a short pitch or an announcement or finish up something you didn't get to say in your 2-minute pitch, you can sign up on that page. There's a chart right behind that speaker there, and just put your name and your contact information, your Instagram handle or your website, whatever, on that big post-it note back there, and line up, and then we'll go through these 30-second micro pitches. And you can introduce yourself, talk about your work, your project, whatever, but you only have 30 seconds. That's the rule. And then after that, we have potluck, and you get to schmingle. It's really fun. So a couple of more announcements. That's what I'm going to do tonight, is announce things. As I noted, we are recording, so you are being recorded. Nothing new if you live in New York, right? If you want to share anything tonight while it's happening or after the fact, just tag us on social. We're at AA Arts Alliance. We also have a post-event survey, super, super fast. It's like 5 questions, but it really helps us because we're always trying to improve, make sure our programs are serving your needs and your interests. And we actually do listen to you when we read these, and we make changes because of what you write. So we'll have a QR code at the end of the event. So if you can fill that out, that's great. And we'll actually do a drawing for 2 VIP swag bags. So if you fill out the survey, your name will get added into this, and you can get some really nice stuff. Just like, I don't remember, but it's good stuff, trust me. We'll just let you know via email. And then also, Justine will be sharing the slideshow with you at the end of the event, so you don't have to like take pictures of everything or like scroll down everybody's website or hashtag. We'll send it out to you once the recording is loaded, and so you'll have everything in one email. Okay, so as you all are probably aware, May is Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Yay, it's our month. You know, we're celebrating with a fundraising campaign. Kidding, no, not kidding. We are actually trying to raise $10,000 to save our archives. We have so many gems that have been with us for over 40 years. We have pictures of B.D. Wong with all of his hair. We have pictures of David Henry Wong. We have like program proposals from Shazia Sikander and Shireen Nishat. We have like so many interesting things in our archives that will not see the light of day unless we can get enough funds to digitize them and make them open to the public. So we're asking for support. If you know anybody who loves to scan or has an extra 10K laying around, we take any of it. Also, if you have things that are related to A4, if you've been around for 10 or 20 or 30 or 40 years, none of you look old enough to have been around for 40 years, but if you have and there are things that you feel should be in the A4 archives, just feel free to reach out to us. Okay, a couple of upcoming events. We have a lot of things because it is May, but we also have a lot of events, so I hope you're on our email list. I was just telling Hal about this. So on New Music Monday returns on June 2nd at the Bang & Olufsen showroom in Soho. This is an amazing, very intimate event where we host musicians and filmmakers, sound artists to listen to their original compositions on state-of-the-art speakers in a really intimate environment and receive feedback from other artists. So we only have room for 5 people plus a guest, so they're really tight. But we do it every other month, the opposite of a town hall month. So you can sign up, get into the lottery if you want to join this. And then on Thursday, June 12th, we are presenting our artists who participated in the What Can We Do Community Care Grant Program. They're going to be sharing their projects. And if you don't feel good after leaving this, and I'm sure you will, this event is going to like make your heart explode because you can't believe like the incredibly beautiful and touching care projects that artists have created in the community. So if you're free on Tuesday, June 12th, it's it'll be in our offices, and Justine's actually going to tell you about a few of the projects coming up. And then on Tuesday, July 22nd, we're having a social, another mixer. We love socializing, mixing it up. This time with the Asian American Writers Workshop, and that's going to be at Land to Sea in Williamsburg. So that'll be a lot of fun. Come meet. If you're, we'll find a way to connect. And then we have like super, super, super exciting news. This is like the big one. So next week, we are launching a nationwide grant program to offer $25,000 grants to arts and cultural organizations that support AAPI creators. We're going to put it in our newsletter, but it's open to arts organizations. It's open to both for-profit and nonprofit organizations that serve the AAPI communities, and it's open to artist collectives. So this is super interesting. We're going to have an information session on June 5th at noon. So check our newsletter, check our socials, check our website. It's going to be there. We're going to blanket the joint with information about it. But it's really something that we've been working on for a very long time. And I wish we had more money to give out to more organizations, especially with what's going on right now. But we're super, super excited about that. But I'm going to turn it over to Justine. She's going to tell you about some of those awesome projects that are in the works.
Hi I'm going to share about briefly 3 upcoming What Can We Do artist community engagements. This Thursday, one of our awardees, Fatin Jarrara, will be working with Malika Safety Center to facilitate Ganani, a joyful workshop celebrating Palestinian folkloric singing and the power of our voices. This is an event open to all women, no singing experience needed, and it will be held in Astoria, and the location will be shared upon registration. On May 31st, also in Queens, Annette Cho will present The Newcomer, a multimedia community art project featuring a short animation, interactive digital artwork, and a participatory art-making workshop. It explores cultural pride within the Korean diaspora, inviting participants to reflect on their heritage through the lens of food as a symbol of cultural identity, and the event is free with garden admission. And then the next day, also at the Queens Botanical Garden on June 1st, our awardee, Florence Cecile Camacho Almeida, will be presenting Sounds of Sanctuary, which is an immersive audio installation of meditative soundscapes for AAPI, birth workers, and birthing people. This event is also free with garden admission, and it's an installation open for just 1 day only, so we hope you'll join us. Now I'll turn it back over to Lisa.
So I don't know, how many of you know about the AMP? Has anybody read the AMP? Yeah, a couple people. Okay, great. So 2 years ago, we launched an online magazine to promote the work of AAPI writers, makers, artists, creators, because I got tired of reading the New York Times every Friday and not seeing us in those lists of shows to see, films to watch, concerts to catch, performances. So we created our own, and we've been doing this now for over 2 years. We have hundreds of articles, photo essays, reviews, conversations. So be sure to check it out. We also have an open pitch if you have ideas about things you'd like to write about or shows you'd like reviewed, whatever. There's information on the website on how to pitch that. Then we pay. So it's a great opportunity for writers and for creators. Finally, friendly reminder to share your work with us. We have a free calendar, community calendar. You can post it on the calendar, it's super easy. And that's actually how we pull events to include in our bi-weekly newsletter. So you can check it out. We also have a great opportunities section. In fact, it's our most highly trafficked page on our website. So people have gotten jobs and residencies and all sorts of opportunities, public art commissions through the opportunities page. So I encourage you to check that out. Okay, so now I'm almost done, almost. Okay, so I want to thank the people who make this possible, in addition to our amazing staff who's here tonight, Justine Lee, Leo Chan, Daniel Wu. Thanks to our supporters at Con Edison, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, in partnership with the City Council, the New York State Council on the Arts, with the support of Governor Kathy Hochul and the New York State Legislature, the Howard Gilman Foundation, the Ford Foundation, and so many generous individuals who make all of these things happen. And of course, my dog, Maka. We're going to do quick land acknowledgement because we do acknowledge that the land politically designated as New York City to be the homeland of the Munsee and Lenape peoples who were violently displaced as a result of European settler colonialism over the course of 400 years. The Lenape are diasporic people who remain closely tied to this land and are its rightful stewards. And as an organization that focuses on the rights of underrepresented people and in solidarity with Indigenous people, we recognize the history and uplift the sovereignty of Indigenous people and territory, and we commit to dismantling ongoing settler colonial practices and their implications in our world. So now I am so thrilled to introduce our first featured presenter, Noelle Ghoussaini. Noelle is a theater maker, a ritual artist, and cultural organizer. Her work lives in public spaces from Turtle Island to Palestine, grounded in mysticism, histories, land, and migrations of her ancestral lineages in Lebanon and beyond. Noelle's visions thread together artistic and sacred spaces of homecoming. So I will turn it over to Noelle.
really useless with technology, so let's see how I do with this. I might end up just holding it.
You might do better with this.
Yeah, I might do better with that. Okay, great. Okay, so before I start, can people hear me okay? Is it working with the mic? Yeah? So before I actually start my presentation, we're gonna just take a moment to ground in this space. So I'm gonna invite folks, if you feel comfortable, to close your eyes, or you can have a downward gaze. And just take a moment to arrive in your body, in this space. Start to arrive in your breath. And to notice how your body feels in this moment. To come into awareness and connection with your body and being. There might be many, many things moving through, and not trying to push anything away or push past anything, but really just giving your body and what is moving through your body breath. Taking in a few very deep breaths. And imagining that breath traveling throughout your body, creating spaciousness. Imagining your body holding and expanding into spaciousness. And just taking a moment to offer gratitude and connection with your body, which moves through and holds so much. A brief moment of connection and arrival. When you feel ready, you can open up your eyes.
Oh, it was off. I know, I was like, it doesn't sound like it's working, but that's okay. Yeah, and may we just arrive here together today from that place of spaciousness and openness and connection. So my name is Noelle Ghoussaini, and I am super grateful to be here with all of you this evening and be sharing about healing practices in some of my work. And I'm going to share about two projects. One is Sacred Space, which is an organization that I created. And the other is Magic Bullet, which is a theater project that I'm a co-creator on. And I'm thinking I could talk about each of those for hours. And so I'm really thinking of tonight as just offering a few seeds of what this work is and what it means to me and how it's part of healing, collective healing practices and collective liberation. So as you see on the slide here, Sacred Space curates performances, rituals, workshops, and performances. Go to the next one. And specifically creates creative and healing journeys for both intimate and large groups. The methodology, this is something I could talk about with folks afterwards, perhaps, just to share a little bit, but the 5 real grounding principles that I work with Sacred Space are meditation, ancestral and earth-based rituals, sacred play, communal altar building, and creative expression and performance. Each of those is a world unto its own, but all connected. And if you just want to go ahead and share some of the photos, I'm going to share a little bit about this work. And I share these photos to just offer some of a visual sense of this work, these spaces of creative ceremony and ritual, to share both the intimacy of the work, the quiet moments of tenderness, the play, and the sacredness. And the tenets of this are collective healing, creative intuition, and sacred connection. And so healing for me has so many different meanings. But in the work of Sacred Space, it's really about, the focus is about coming home to embodied wisdom and heart wisdom. Part of that is releasing traumas, systematic oppressions, and system of violence from the body and realigning into what I call our personal and collective sacred geometries. In terms of creative intuition as a practice of healing, it's about relaxing the linear mind, cultivating and being guided by our sense of play and the innate intuition that really lives in each of us. And in regards to sacred connection, this is really practices and rituals to connect with the earth, to connect with our ancestors, the spirit world, ourselves, and each other. It's a practice of coming home to belonging in the web of life. And so over these past many years with Sacred Space, this work has lived at universities, at high schools, detention centers, theaters, community centers, a variety of places. But in the past year and a half, I've really started to ground this work, serving organizations and individuals doing work of collective liberation, who are doing movement work. And specifically uplifting artists from the Swana diaspora and Palestinian artists and organizers in this moment of profound pain and trauma and difficulty in the Swana region and diaspora. And the impulse for this is to really center healing arts as part of our movements. So to integrate these embodied and creative practices into the fabric of our movements. And I believe we live in a world that really privileges the mind, the rational, the tangible. And while I do think those things are important, I don't think they're above. And I think there's a lot of systems of violence that have made it so that those are seen as above. And so I'm trying to create space for the body, the expansiveness of the heart, the intangible, the symbolic, the mystical, the spiritual. And in centering these spaces, the practice is really to feed the spirit, to uplift embodied creative healing practice, and really think of this work of the body and embodied spiritual practice as foundational to how we imagine and create spaces of collective liberation. So that we're not only centering mind and tangible as what will lead to liberation, but other forms of practice and healing, and really making that at the center of our movements. So that's a little bit about Sacred Space. And I am going to we'll jump to the magic bullet. So very different project, but also healing. And this is a project created in collaboration with LubDub Theatre and many partners
around the United States. There are 6 artists who are involved, which are Caitlin Nassima Cassidy, Jeff Kanik, Ismail Khalidi, Robert Duffley, myself, and Mohammed Yabdri. We've been working together since 2022, creating this piece. And you can go to the next slide. So here are just some photos of the work in progress. And The Magic Bullet is a multidisciplinary performance, and it explores colonialism and decolonization, indigeneity, and magic, stretching from Algeria in the 1950s to today. So the initial seed from this project comes off of a historical moment in the 1850s in Algeria when Sufi mystics, Marabout, were leading armed resistance to French colonial rule. And the French considered this kind of leadership, because it was mystical, was seen as false magic. So the French government, under Napoleon III, brought their top stage magician out of retirement to travel to Algeria to perform magic shows as part of their military strategy to quell Algerian resistance fighters and show the superiority of French magic. It's wild, wild. And so our group of 6 artists is really confronting this like colonial historical moment and reimagining it to support liberation, healing, and our interconnectedness. So how are we doing that? How is this healing work? And I'm really thinking about the practice of decolonizing history and reimagining history as a practice of healing, and in a few different ways. So the first is really thinking about the story itself. So the story, we are taking this moment, this historical moment of this magic show, which in the West was really seen as a successful part of France's military campaign. And we are totally kind of expanding that out. And through looking at a variety of other historians and Algerian primary sources, really centering actually our Sufi mystic resistance leaders, Amir Abdelkader, Lala Fatman Sumud, and looking at their stories, their legacies, their histories, their philosophies. And so this question of taking a historical moment that is viewed in the West in a certain way and completely reframing it. And in doing that, part of the reason I feel that this is healing work is because we are taking histories that have been completely erased in the Western canon and bringing light to these Swana stories and also feminist stories and making them visible, bringing visibility through our own lens. And I believe that visibility and honoring story is a healing act. How we are doing that as like the healing practice of how we tell stories, right? Like it's not just a historical documentation, but we bring in us as 6 artists. We are characters in the story. And we're talking about how this historical moment speaks to us today in our movements for liberation. And we're using ritual and ceremony, filmmaking and personal story, dialogue and song. And we're looking at how the forces of settler colonialism from France and Algeria linked to settler colonial violence that's happening in Palestine today. We are looking at our own lineages as artists and sharing personal stories of healing and decolonization. And we're really moving across space and time, right, in all these different ways throughout, again, going from 1850s Algeria to today in a variety of diasporic places. And the story really moves like tidal waves, not being stuck in notions of linearity as truth-telling. And that as a healing act, how we reframe and rethink of history in a more kaleidoscopic way. And the last thing I'll share about this project is really how we work together collectively. In the face of a capitalist culture that really supports ego and individuality above all else, what it means to work as a collective across years and disciplines, across births and marriages and divorces, and remaining connected also as people in a collective vision through our personal journeys is so powerful, and centering our collective vision. We also center care above all else and how we care for each other. We are embodying collective ownership of a piece in a society that really, in a society that really privileges individual notions of ownership. We're looking at what does it mean to work together and build together in this piece across a lot of our differences and across our traumas and together in celebration and connection. But I believe this process of centering the collective and in an embodied way and working through that as a creative practice is an incredibly healing and decolonizing act. So thank you so much for your time and presence with me. I'm so glad I got to share a little bit about sacred space and the magic bullet, and I hope some of these thoughts share seeds that we can collectively water in all our work together. Thank you.
So much. Okay, that was lovely. All right, now we are going to do our 2-minute pitches. So if you see your name up here, you should be ready to go. I'm just trying to get this back organized here. All right, so how this is going to work is we're going to go in this order. So, I don't have to call out your name, but I could if you want me to. But we're going to start with Linde, then Priya, Jiaying, Mariko, Doreen, Joanne, Mitsu, Georges, and then Mangda. I hope you are all here. If you're not, we'll find out when I call your name. But we're going to start with Linde. You're here? Okay, great. So I'm going to go back and organize the 2-minute thing, and then you can start then. And remember to speak into the mic.
I try. Okay, height for short people, perfect. Good evening, my name is Noelle Ghoussaini. I am the owner of a holistic health and wellness business in Brooklyn, right by Prospect Park. It's called Linda's Bodywork, and we offer different services, trainings, and also events. So those are the main three. So this is from one of our events. We do monthly events, sound healings, meditations, energy healing, movement practices, everything pretty much in line with actually what Noelle was talking about the trauma that is stored in our bodies. So we love working with clients in a holistic way, addressing all these things that are stored in our body. It's not just physical. So we do like to offer services that are a bit non-traditional, like traditional Thai yoga massage, for example, aromatherapy, raindrop technique, and energy healing practices like Reiki or 13th octave Lahochi, if anybody has heard of it. You can ask me more details later if you're interested. We also offer trainings in these modalities, and we also offer pretty more common modalities for those who come more for physical benefits. We do offer something, since it's a community space, I figured I'd tell you about our community offerings that we have on Sundays, our community clinic for Reiki and Thai massage. We do it on a sliding scale for 30-minute sessions usually, so it's a nice way for people to try it out in a less committed way. And our community events take place every third Saturday. So you're welcome to join us. Thank you very much. Very happy to be here. Thank you.
Hi everyone. I'm a little nervous about the time limit, so good. Yeah, that would be awesome. Okay. Hi everyone.
My name is Priya. I do many things, but I'm a cultural worker and a organizer working to end gender-based violence in the Caribbean community, primarily in Queens, New York, but all over New York. I am also currently a resident with Bandung. This is a program sorted by A4 and Mokata. I can't get into all of it, but what we are doing is creating events to bring and build solidarity between Black and Asian communities in New York. So I'm going to share a bit about an event that I'm organizing this summer. Yes. So I am working on a project. It will be a healing arts workshop to really for Indo and Afro-Caribbean survivors of sexual assault to place their stories in a political context, to be together, to heal together, and to make art together. So we're going to be having a day of healing arts, basically I think it's going to be in Brooklyn. My venue actually fell through this morning, so I'm here also looking for a venue space that is affordable, that is in between Brooklyn and Queens. I would love a sun-filled space, but a space that can accommodate sound healing workshops and also a writing workshop and food. For community members, this will be a free event for community, and it'll really be a space for survivors of gender-based violence from these both communities that have racial violent tensions in the Caribbean. I'm from Guyana. If anyone knows about history of racial violence in the Caribbean, it is a rich one, and it has caused a lot of harm in our community. So we're bringing together Black and Asian survivors of gender-based violence to build and heal and create a zine together and publish it together in hopes that we forge new stories, new organizing initiatives, and new coalitions forward to end gender-based violence in New York and our communities and beyond. Yeah, that is a bit about it. The event will be in June or July. Again, my name is Priya, and I would love to share more. I would love to hear about venues, and I would love to share more about this event with people that may be interested in attending or supporting. So thank you.
Who's next? Jane, Wayne? Yeah.
Hi, good evening. My name is Huiyin, and I'm actually a community engagement and training specialist from Department of Health and Mental Hygiene. I just want to kind of like have you asking yourself how many times you're walking on the street and then somebody's giving you like free resources and you kind of just like, oh no, thank you. That happens a lot, right? So what if like I'm giving out these free resources about mental health? You'd be surprised that a lot of people, especially within the Asian communities, still would say no thank you. They would even avoid the topic or even just holding that flyer in their hands because there's such a huge stigma around mental health within our AHPI communities. So what I'm here today is to promote free mental health trainings for the entire public. So the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, we have this particular training that's called Promoting Mental Health for Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and the Pacific Islanders. So we want to call it more of a learning initiative because we're in that space where we can kind of come together and learning from each other, you know, whether it's the different culture, the different upbringing, right? How we're raised, we're all different. But we're in this city together, and then we're trying to find ways to connect and learning more about mental health so that we can bring it back to the community, to our families, to our friends who are struggling, or maybe even just us who are struggling about mental health. And we can find those resources because there are a lot of free resources out there that the city provides, but people just don't know about it. So this particular learning initiative is to provide a safe space where we can come together and raise that culture awareness, sharing those experiences like immigration experiences, learn about the Asian communities, you know, our history, yeah, I know you agree, in the United States, and then we also just want to promote that empathy, right, promote empathy for each other, and then also just finding ways how we can connect. And I love the fact that, you know, you're all sharing these different ways to heal, right, different ways to kind of just connect and also support one another. I think that's so important for us to kind of, especially in this day of time, just come together as a community. It's one community, right? We're not gonna be like, oh, individualize it. It's have that supportive and collective. So thank you so much.
Hello everyone, my name is Mariko Tamegai. I'm founder of the Cosmos Healing. We are offering the Reiki session and the sound healing and end of life doula for most of the time grief support group. I've been more focusing on community. I'm offering every Friday community Reiki online 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. and also in person 5 to 6 p.m. This is Ivan's performance for sound healing at Log Radio, and maybe some of you know about this is Ivan's sound bath for the hair salon. So I've been offering many different type of place, and also we are offering 2 healing session community to the corporate. So I think it's for us is also this is we are offering for Grief Collage Cafe at the Bushwick, the bookstore, and it is 2 minutes is a little short of me. And I've been offering so many different places and supporting each other and connecting each other, and also I've been collaborate with so many healers in the New York City and the community based. So I think it's for in the world right now, we need to bring more a gentle energy to the world and connecting and supporting each other. And as a Japanese, I grew up in Japan, so we need more gentle energy to bring to us and healing together, supporting each other. And please join community Reiki's price is more affordable online. It's starting at $5. And the community Reiki, an hour, I'm guiding meditation, 25 minutes Reiki session every Friday. Everyone welcome to join us. Thank you so much for listening.
Hi everyone, I'm Dory. I'm a multimedia artist who focus on social practice. I will quickly share you this my ongoing participatory project called Half Dream. Half Dream is an online platform for people in different regions to share their sipping dreams content, and we try to match common dreams for people to connect with each other based on their dream content instead of their societal boundary. I started Half Dream 4 years ago with a team of 8 people and with the support of Burger Connections. And I started this project is because of multiple reasons. And first reason is that I remember my intense nightmare every morning, seeing the social upheaval in Hong Kong where I grew up. And then I saw the political polarization happening in Hong Kong during Black Lives Matter movement, and also COVID-19 pandemic. People who seem lots of common language to talk to each other. So I wonder if actually they dream similarly, even they believe so differently in the waking life, because images we saw on media are basically the same. Yeah, so that's why I start Half Dream, and Half Dream is halfdream.org. It's the online platform still existing. We have almost 5,000 dreams on the online platform right now. And my next project is because based on the experience on set up Half Dream, I'm thinking on myself an online platform that support our professional well-being. And mental health. I got diagnosed with ADHD 3 years ago, and I found maybe this is not uncommon in this unstable world and need creative people. So I hope I can set an online platform for us to have peering, sharing, and some resources sharing. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Joanne. This is so fast, but I'm more of a slow person, and I'm a very integrated person. My mother is an immigrant from the Philippines, my dad is an immigrant from the Dominican Republic, and I have a very diverse background, career-wise, life-wise. My longest career was 13 years in finance, and what helped me get through that was energy healing, and that is what I do now. I'm a Reiki master practitioner, sound healer, and Akashic Records reader, and I would love to share a really brief practice with you. Noelle guided us through a very beautiful grounding, but if you would like to, once again, close your eyes or soften your gaze. Take some nice deep breaths in and out through your nose. And with each inhale, try to let that oxygen flow all the way into your belly, expanding your abdomen. And with each exhale, gently releasing. And as you notice any sensations in your body, if you have any areas of discomfort or pain, with each inhale, send oxygen and love toward those areas. Taking one more inhale and exhale. And I do have one slide. If you want a 5-minute meditation, you can download it there.
Thank you, Joanne, for that. Thank you, A4. Thank you, Prime Produce, for this container. I'm Mitsu Puri, she, her pronouns. I'm the co-founder and a community steward of the Asian Psychedelic Collective. Thank you, Robin. The Asian Psychedelic Collective is a radical healing community where the transformative power of psychedelics and ancestral wisdom converge to reimagine collective liberation. As Asians in the diaspora, we inherit legacies of colonization, displacement, and cultural erasure, yet our traditions hold profound tools for healing and resistance. Psychedelics and extraordinary states of consciousness have always been a part of this lineage. But today, these practices are either stigmatized, commodified, or completely severed from their roots. APC exists to reclaim them, not just for personal growth and transformation, but as catalysts for collective healing and systemic change. This is our mission. Lots of words on this slide. But just to kind of whittle it down, we believe that liberation begins in the imagination, but that's not it. When we access altered states through art, ceremony, and psychedelics, we remember that our bodies are not just sites of trauma, but portals to freedom. Our communities deserve more than survival. We deserve ecstatic joy, deep belonging, and sovereign healing. The war on drugs is a war on people of color, and harm reduction is a social justice issue. We foster belonging and empowerment for those who look like us, who are exploring extraordinary states of consciousness. We imagine a world where Asians are cherished, safe, and seen in psychedelic spaces, where artists, healers, and seekers honor biocultural diversity and the deep roots of earth medicine. That's the future we're co-creating, and we would love for you to join us. Thank you.
No, it's okay. Oh, yeah. All right, great. Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Georges Bridges. Some of you who have been here before know that we were previously known as the Asian American Film Lab, where we were a nonprofit 501c3 organization. But since then, we've changed to for-profit, and the new name of our company is the 72-Hour Film Network. Our previous president, who was fantastic, but unfortunately she's no longer the president, was Jennifer Batten Yin, and she's moved on to other things, including film production. Our new president is Ray Lanuza. He was formerly the treasurer, secretary of our organization. But we are continuing with our vision of promoting ethnic and gender diversity in the film business. And with that said, we're continuing with our 72-hour film network. This is the 21st year, but under our new banner as the 72-Hour Film Network. Registration began on March 1st, and beginning June 5th, the theme will be announced, in which teams will have 72 hours in which to create a film. If you're interested in participating, you can go to 72-Hour Film Network to register. Also, we're brand new now, a brand new company, so we're looking for any type of collaborators that can help us continue our vision of promoting ethnic and gender diversity. Thank you.
Thanks, George. Sorry, Mengdu, I think is our last person.
Hi everyone, my name is Mengda and I'm a grief and death doula based out of New York City. That's me. I've been in this end-of-life space for about 6 years, and what brought me to it was my own experiences with loss and grief and the isolation of that pre-pandemic. And I really needed some diversity and perspectives and practices that I felt were relatable, so I created a care project called Basi, based off of Lao ceremonies and rituals that were conducted during life and grief and death and celebration. So that's been woven into the work that I've been doing. And the way in which that I approach it is from a holistic, contemplative, and creative approach. So I've worked with individuals and communities and even organizations, really having a more vast perspective of these understandings and these experiences for a deeper culture of care, really. And I've been doing that also with practices and rituals and experientially, so using different formats of being with community. This was a recent event I did called Dress for Your Funeral at a funeral home. So I get really experimental and I also get very grounded. Yeah, this is fantastic, by the way. Yeah, and so the way in which that I've done it too is like using community and nature and like creating community zines, working with the vastness of these topics. So whether it's intangibly, where it's safety or identities, all of the politics that's going on, to more tangible of literally being with families and creating ceremonies as their loved ones are transitioning. So I work in the entire spectrum, and sorry, if you don't know what that is, Death Doula and a Life Doula is a non-medical support guide. And in these last seconds, I use nature, so using grief potions and grief incense, and just finding ways in which to meet you wherever you're at. But thank you.
Big round of applause for all of us. All right, so we're going to do this all over again, but we're starting with our second featured presenter, Huiyin Zhou of the CAO Collective. And Huiyin is a queer feminist organizer and community-based photographer, writer, multimedia artist, and cultural producer. They're one of the co-founders and co-directors of the Chinese Artists and Organizers Collective, which creates art to empower relational community healing. So I'm going to turn it over to Huiyin.
Everyone, thank you so much,
Lisa for the introduction. Thank you everyone else for all the sharing. I really, really enjoyed it. So yeah, I'm Huiyin. I use they them pronouns. I'm really excited to be here today. My voice is sounding a little bit low because my body is really, really, really tired. But it doesn't mean that I don't want to be here. I just wanted to preface that. As all the folks were leading like breath work, I realized that I often forget to breathe. And that's something that I want to remember as we go into another round of sharing and presentations together. So yeah, okay, remember to breathe. That's my reminder for myself. Can I have the... So for Chinese Artists and Organizers Collective, CAO Collective, our Chinese name is Huiyin Zhou. We were founded in 2022 by several Chinese queer feminists, including myself, and so we've been around for almost 3 years now. Our Chinese name, Huiyin Zhou, Li means diaspora separation, Zhou means grass, and so we want to create a piece of like grassy land where we can play around together, we can build community together, build healing practices together. But it also plays around with a swear word, CAO, ta, which means fuck in Chinese. And so a lot of our practice is around like wordplay and like playing around with multilinguality, diasporic languaging, and yeah, a lot of repressed rage and grief that we have in our bodies as queer feminist organizers organizing transnationally. And so we have roots in China and the Sinophone diaspora. We also organize relationally with a lot of other BIPOC queer feminist groups like in the US and beyond. So when we first started, it was really, well, you can read the official statement here on our website, but to give a little bit more context, when we first started, it was really because we were seeing a lot of kind of like different waves of organizing where something happens, there's that urgency to organize and everybody mobilizes and protests and everything, and then we all get burned out. And then we all kind of die for a little bit. And then something happens again, and then we kind of mobilize out of urgency, and then it kind of repeats and continues. And so we do want to think about like where's the slow work in all of this? Where is the work of healing? Where is the work of building relationships with each other that can hold us through all of these upheavals? How can we start building those kinds of infrastructures of care, of relationships that can sustain through all of these different cycles of violence that continue to replicate themselves? And so that was one of the main reasons why we decided to come together and to really just explore what it can look like. So when we first started, it was very much like, we want to do something together. We don't know where it's going to go, but we're in it together. And now we're almost 3 years old. And so we do a lot of practice around like rituals, building rituals, queer feminist intimacy, building kinship together, and we work with a lot of different kinds of mediums in terms of like photography, sound, video, even children's games, meditation, and herbal medicine. And so I'm going to share today 2 projects, and both actually received some support from A4, from the What Can We Do microgrants. And so the first one I wanted to share is Strings of Touch. Strings of Touch, it is a project that we did in 2023 in collaboration with the community organization Red Canary Song, RCS. And they're a grassroots organization working with Asian sex workers and massage workers. And so for this project, we used this game, Danhua, which is like string figures, and it's very, very common children's games in East Asia, where 2 people play around with strings and making all these different shapes. And so a lot of it is rooted in our childhood, and we invited 2 members of RCS, and Lisa and Lynn, and they're working with the Chinese outreach team. And we invited them to play this game together, and we filmed them while playing. And so Lisa actually
Lynn actually taught Lisa how to play the game as we were filming together, and we wanted to explore the hands as a part of intimacy, as a part of labor. There's a lot of negotiation that comes with interactions with hands, and you can't touch without being touched. And in the context of massage work, obviously the hands are the primary side of labor. And so while they were playing, we asked them questions around what is home, what is intimacy, what is safety for them. And so we all got into like collective conversations that were then recorded. But that's the team. Yeah, I'm gonna probably skip this part. So these are some stills from the video. That's the game, in case my explanation wasn't clear. And so we also, thank you, Julia. We also played around with like green gloves so that the hands can be like removed in post-production where it's all over the streams. So this project actually evolved over time a lot. And so initially we were thinking of making a video that's more of like an oral history kind of format, but later on actually took a more experimental route where we overlaid the original video footage of Lynn and Lisa playing with string figures with collectively written poetry among our collective members and a group of survivors of gender-based violence that we were supporting. I won't go into the details of the backgrounds of that harassment case, but we were hosting like weekly meetings with these folks, and we were writing poetry together about that shared experience of gender-based violence. And this poem was collectively written by, I think, 7 of us, and it's titled, "How Are You, Pacific Story?" And so my collaborator, my primary collaborator for the collective, Laura Dudu, they aren't here today, but they edited the video, and so some snippets of the poetry is embedded in kind of, we can show like 20 seconds of this video. And so with this exploration, we were thinking a lot about how a lot of times survivors need to explain and explain and explain, like relive those moments like over and over and over again in order for people empowered to even care about like the violence that we experience. And so we wanted to engage with the original project, Strings of Touch, in a way that connects all of these very kind of elusive but also very embodied experiences of violence, and how can we create different kinds of narratives that are rooted in these experiences but doesn't demand transparency and reliving those moments of violence over and over again. What kind of alternative spaces of healing, of stories that we can tell ourselves, and the kind of worlds that we can create together through playing games, through writing poetry together, and really claiming that experience for us. And so that's why this project kind of took a different direction, and we're continuing to work on it, and we're going to launch a poetry book that features some of the poetry that's collectively written. And so I'm gonna go to the next project. It's very different. It's more participatory performance, and it's very special project for me because it was the first ever project that we worked on as a collective back in September 2022. And that was also a What Can We Do supported project. It took place in Sarah D. Roosevelt Park in Manhattan, and then since then we've brought it to all these different places in California, different parts of New York, and it's going to happen in Raleigh, North Carolina this fall, and then possibly coming back to Manhattan later on in the fall. So with this project, it's Ciba Punch, the Chinese name, Yuquan, so that's Ciba, also plays with a pun. So Yuquan, which means feminism or women's rights, sounds the same as Yuquan, which means female fists in Chinese. And so in Chinese internet, a lot of people who don't like feminists would say that, oh, you're just a bunch of angry people who are trying to punch everything and destroy everything. And so we wanted to reclaim that and be like, we are punchers, but we're not, the only thing that we're destroying is the rice, and we're making sticky rice cakes that are for our community. And then the memory, the grief, the rage, the love that we have for each other eventually getting, like, it turns into nutrients in our bodies. And so we wanted to explore what it means, the transformative power of queer feminist rage and grief, and what it means for us to engage with this very commonly consumed, like, sticky rice cake, like in Southern Chinese cuisine, as a portal of intimacy and healing, and what it means for us to create a kind of power that is rooted in our bodies and rooted in our relationship with each other, but that is not punitive and it's generative. So I'm just going to share some photos from, that was when we were prepping the rice and steaming it and setting up. And people punching on blobs of rice together. And the more they punch, the stickier it gets, and the less you can distinguish between the individual rice grains. And so there's that collectivity that is forming in the sticky rice cake as well. Oh, that's me, that's baby me from 3 years ago. I think what's really special for me with this project is that the sticky rice grain, also the stickiness of the rice also embodies kind of the kind of entanglements and relationships that we have in our community, and the kind of the more we punch together, the more the stickier it gets, and yeah, it's like kind of the closer our relationship gets to. And I really love bringing this performance to like different kinds of community spaces, and every time, each iteration of the performance, it takes on a different kind of politics, depending on the kind of community and the context that it engages with. So the first ever Ciba Punch was more kind of like a protest disguised as a performance. Back then it was a lot leading up to that performance in September 2022. There was a lot of incidents of like gender-based violence, human trafficking that were widely discussed on Chinese internet. And it was also, yeah, just like leading up to a big wave of social movement in Chinese diaspora and in China as well. And so our community, in terms of the Chinese queer feminist community, there was a lot of rage and a lot of grief that's like, we don't know how to even express it. And so back then, in that space of the Ciba Punch, it was like very much like a political statement. We had poetry that were chanted while people were punching. People repeated after each other. There was like bells and just like a lot of, I remember like my body shaking the whole time, like during the performance, because of all of the sound, like the resonances like coming from the audience. But later on, in, for example, in Irvine, where it was kind of like after this whole wave of social movement, people needed a place to just be together and to meet each other for the first time and to have a little bit of play. And so for that iteration, it was much more chill in a way. And it was, yeah, a lot of people just forming community, forming relationship for the first time. And then bringing this to Queens Botanical Garden last fall, it was the most intergenerational one that we've had, because there were so many grandpa, grandmas in the area, in the park, just doing their usual routines of like walking in the parks, and we were like, oh, come play with us, and come punch with us. And then there were a lot of kids in the area, and even our community members who had their moms visiting from China, they also brought their moms in. So it was very intergenerational, and even though like we still have like our framing of like, we don't compromise our framing of like queer feminist like kinship and ethics, but I think what really is special for me for this project is that because there's multiple ways of entry for people, there's like food, which is a very accessible entryway for people, and then people can, depending on how much they want to engage with the project, depending on their personal experiences, the context they're situated in, there are different ways in which they can engage. Like some people take on more of like, oh, this is a cathartic kind of release, and then some people are more like, oh, this is, you know, intergenerational healing, and other people are like, oh, this is for me to engage with queer feminist rage. And so there's all of these different kinds of engagement that I think gets activated in this collectively fluid and changing space, and just like this DQ Rice that continues to shape shifts. So I'm gonna probably stop there. Yeah, there's our Instagram, CAO Collective, caocollective.com, our at CAO Collective, and our website, and we do have a monthly newsletter that goes out every month, and so we'd love to stay in contact with everyone, and just thank you so much for listening.
That's great. Now we're going to do our second round of 2-minute pitches, people that pre-registered. So Deborah Chi, Deborah, Lexi, Wen, Chenyu, Jacqueline, Jian, Yasmin, and Caroline on deck. So Deborah, are you here? Okay, we'll start with you.
Hi, my name is Deborah, and I just want to tell you a little what I do and why I'm here. I have a background. I've been an artist and arts educator, nonprofit administrator with research and art as a vehicle for social transformation and community building. And I am also very passionate about arts advocacy. I believe in providing artists a platform and opportunity to workshop and showcase their work. So what you see up here is Creative Bonds. I'm just going to read off of what the website says. Come up to me and I'll tell you more about it too. But Creative Bond provides local artists with space and funding to host workshops, exhibit, performances in St. Lydia's storefront at 304 Bond Street in Brooklyn as our Gowanus neighborhood transform. If you don't know, Gowanus is changing exponentially and rapidly given all the buildings have gone up recently. And this new program allows St. Lydia's to open its doors to neighbors in new ways, demonstrating our investment in creative flourishing of our neighborhoods and city, and foster the vital work of artists across disciplines. Just so you know, St. Lydia's is a queer and anti-racist community that emphasizes practice over beliefs and works to center those who have been marginalized by church or society. St. Lydia's meets for dinner church every Sunday and waffle church once a month. And one of St. Lydia's strengths is our congregants' diverse creativity. Congregants are visual artists, writers, playwrights, dancers, architects, musicians, singers, and more. The arts inform our worship and identity. We appreciate art's importance, and we want to offer a valuable resource, our space, to those who wish to have a place to work or showcase their talents, even for works in process. So through this Creative Bonds and its host, our host, St. Lydia's, we hope neighbors and artists can find ways to connect. So everyone's welcome. And one last thing I want to add is that it's called Creative Bond because aptly named because we are on Bond Street.
Hi everyone, I'm Lexi, and I also want to include Hal here. And we are the founders of the Viet Creative Society. We are a relatively new organization. We just formed last year, but we are here to uplift Viet creatives in New York. We kind of started out of a collaboration. We had a mutual who only knew like 3 Viet creatives who put us in a group chat and was like, do something. So we created this amazing fashion and music show. Kao is a composer and I am a fashion designer, and we had so much fun working on it that we were like, why can't we do this more? And also, like, where are the other Viet creatives in New York? I feel like we're all spread apart and there hasn't really been a space to bring us all together. So we thought, why not create that space? So we've been trying to uplift as many creatives as possible. As Hal likes to put it, we are trying to fill up this pie chart of different disciplines, you know, visual arts, poetry, dance, fashion, and we're just hoping to share that more with you. So Hal's going to go over some events that we've done.
Yeah, so even though we're pretty young, we've done quite a number of different events. This rose from our fashion and music show, so it wasn't just a fashion show. We brought in lots of local Vietnamese performers as well too. We some Flip Summit. You see some Lexi beautiful designs there. We had a very large New Year event as well too, with a 10-course menu for 70 people. We've collabed on different cafe art show pop-ups. We've done workshops, which is dance workshops, candle making workshops, and recently did a peachy painting tip that Lexi led. And we have lots coming up. So some of the 2 big events we have is this weekend. We're running a Southeast Asian Festival featuring Southeast Asians from across New York City. It's going to be a really beautiful experience. It's rare for all these communities to come together like this. Hope to see you there. Limited free tickets right now. And we have a film screening coming up in June 8th. Thanks, y'all.
Hi everyone, my name is Noelle Ghoussaini, and I'm a photographer, artist, and systematic coach. Actually, today I'm here to present my studio, Sunset Studio. It's a creative and systematic space for us to do rituals together. So one question I constantly ask myself is, would you allow yourself to be seen? And the last couple of years, I'm sure everyone has been going through a lot of changes, and I start to realize, for me, photography and art making is always a space to create safe spaces for us to explore who we are and show up as who we are. And I start to see photography more as a way to, as an invitation to play and imagine, and as a ritual to come back to ourselves, and maybe as a portal to get to the next new you. So I've been doing systematic portraits and systematic coaching, and also I offer an online creative retreat called Multimedia Love Letter. So, for example, I would invite you over to my studio, and I would do a Thai massage on you first, and then I would do visualization for you to really embody that future self vibe, and then we'll do portraits. So here are some sweet words from people, and these are portraits that I made with AMP last year of API artists. Somatic coaching is a process where you really talk to yourself, talk to your body in an intimate way, and I can guide you through a process of that to unlock your potential. And I also offer more in-depth, longer-term collaborations in terms of that. And the Multimedia Love Letter Creative Retreat is an online space where I combine all of them together to guide us to get more into self-love, intimacy, and connections. So more of that, you can check out my website, sunsetstudio.love. And I'm based in Sunset Park, so hopefully I can see you there.
Thank you. Yes.
Hello, my name is Huiyin Zhou. I want to introduce my project here in home. I'm a documentary filmmaker. This one is still ongoing. It's a feature length, but I also have several short dance. It's already finished, and this summer particularly, I want to give them out to go to the community. I mean, one reason is like we have the new administration, and everybody is pretty feeling chaotic. And oh, by the way, that's my website. Let's go to my website. I do have another mental health film. I'm going to talk to you later individually. So that's me. I used to work for BRIC. So I have 10 years talking with the community. That's why I got access to many immigrants in Brooklyn. So that's my feature talk is about immigrants, musicians, artists, how they navigate life in the U.S. and where they come home now, and how they connect with their home they are from, with music, food, and arts. So I have several shows that I create them because through the whole, I'm working on this project about 10 years, so through the years there are so many good stories I really need them to come up first. And so you can read my slide later. And so many of them actually have the healing concept. Oh my God, okay. So, okay, I'm going to tell quick. So, I've been working on many gathering. And this summer, I want to reach out to communities and just working on events, and let's talk about this later.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jacqueline Cook. Please call me Jacqueline. I'll tell you about myself. I'm Korean American. I live in Harlem. I acknowledge the land I live and work on is Lenape land. I am a licensed acupuncturist, a licensed strength and conditioning coach, a mom, a partner, and small business owner. I'm a radical healer, teaching myself about liberation and decolonizing myself. I love lifting weights, being outside, utilizing exercise science, and learning about the magic of Qi. So a service I want to explore is community ear acupuncture. I've done this in retreats, and I've also done it, I've actually done ear seats, volunteering at schools to do it for teacher appreciation, just to share it wherever I can. It's kind of new, but it's so easy, it's so accessible. It's used for harm, if you don't know about it, it's used in harm reduction settings and disaster relief settings, but also just overall wellness. It's a really simple, portable somatic practice, and and I want to explore that. So I'm looking to offer it somewhere regularly, preferably in Manhattan, ideally in or near Harlem, but I am open to all possibilities right now. I also am, even though I'm an acupuncturist, I am a strength coach, conditioning coach. So that's a fancy way to say trainer. But I am taking clients interested in exercise, and anyone who wants to explore exercise in an empowering way. And if you know a little bit about me, as you see how I explore it, it's been a practice that grounds me, because I am a person who is a dreamer and really open to dreaming with other people, but it is a really physical practice. So I'm interested in connecting with anyone who uses their voice in healing, whether with others or themselves, anyone who dreams about intergenerational, intersectional, multidisciplinary healing experiences, and who wants to talk or learn about lifting weights.
You can flip through the slides. I'm not going to read from them, but you can click through them. Okay, hi, I'm Jan. I wanted to read something for you guys today.
Every May feels like an annual review of my career, and every year I feel like I have failed. Another year and you still haven't figured out how to make enough money to be a full-time artist. Another year and you still have to fundraise for your salary. Another year and you still don't have all the accolades you should have had by now, a Grammy, an Oscar, a New York Times bestselling memoir, and a sold-out international tour. There are no awards for putting your career on hold for 4 years to take care of your dad. There are no awards for sacrificing your financial stability to take care of your immigrant parents during a global pandemic because your dad was suddenly diagnosed with metastatic cancer. There are no awards for taking your dad to all of his oncology, radiation, and chemotherapy appointments. There are no awards for translating and advocating for him at all of his appointments. There are no awards for driving back and forth between New York and Virginia hundreds of times. There are no awards for surviving the cancer, the dying, the death, the funeral, the burial, and the ongoing grief of losing the person who gave you life, raised you, and loved you more than anyone else in this world. There are no awards for surviving the unsurvivable. I wish being a human being during these chaotic, terrifying times could feel like enough. It is enough. I am enough. I created and birthed a human being into the world. I fought cancer with Appa for 4 years. I carried Appa to the end of his life. I take incredible care of the people I love. I am a fierce mother. I am a devoted daughter. I am a committed partner. I am an unwavering friend. I am a brilliant writer, singer, songwriter, podcaster, poet, and artist. After 36 years of life, I am still here. This is enough. I am enough.
Hi, I'm Yasmin. I'm a documentary filmmaker and animator. I'm also the director and producer of the documentary called Together. This feature documentary looks at a 50-year journey of healing from childhood trauma and family separation. It uses verite footage to tell a currently unfolding story and animation and archival footage to tell the past. The film opens with Juliet. She's a Vietnamese-American woman. She is sitting alone at a diner in Virginia. She is awaiting the drunk driver that she believes killed her mother 30 years ago. She arranged this meeting with him to offer him forgiveness for the decades of hatred she's felt towards him. But in an unexpected twist at this meeting, she learns that things are not as they seem. There is no drunk driver. Her father, a Vietnam War vet, is at fault for the accident that killed her mom. A police report then leads her and her younger sister, Jen, who were both separated in foster care as children, to discover they have yet another sister. An elder sister left behind in Vietnam at the end of the Vietnam War. At its core, this film is about 3 women, 3 sisters who reunite after decades apart. Despite growing up in separate homes all around the world, each has experienced grief, loss, and abuse by the very people who were supposed to take care of them. This has been filmed over 12 years, and together documents a universal story, a quest for family, and a decades-long journey towards healing. We hope to finally be finished next year. We're seeking collaborators, and we are going to be releasing the film with a series of healing workshops to start in New York and then to be spread around nationwide. So we're looking for organizations, like I think many of yours, to collaborate with to show the film alongside breathwork and meditation and various healing experiences. Thank you.
It's like always so different. Hi, my name is Caroline. I am an actor and writer. I'm developing a feature film called Second Summer, which is about a conservative Chinese American family and community in Texas, which is where I grew up, San Antonio, Texas. 5 or 6 years ago, I had a friend who accidentally passed away. She was accidentally killed, and I was in New York, and I called my mom, and I was like, I'm coming to the funeral. And she said, there's no funeral. And I said, okay. And she says, well, obviously, because our generation of immigrants haven't been in America long enough for someone to have died, so we don't know how to grieve. And I was, very young, and I thought, okay, and I took that as fact. But there's a difference I learned between the truth and the truth we would like to believe. So I'm excited now because after many years of developing the script, I have an amazing producer. Her name is Lisa Normand. She produced David Lowery's The Old Man and the Gun, and she brought No Future, this feature film, to Tribeca and South by Southwest. And so we're taking the script out now to directors, and we have a list, but we would love to meet any femme or non-binary directors, especially Asian American directors, but people with experience with complex trauma or have worked with complex trauma in any form. And that's our first ask, is directors. And then the second ask is we would love to meet Asian American, Asian producers, anybody who understands the Asian film market. And thank you so much for listening.
Another round of applause for all of these amazing presenters. So, if anybody was so motivated and would like to give a 30-second pitch, there is a giant Post-it note on the other side of this speaker. So don't be shy. Come on up. Write your name and your contact information, your website. Or if you gave a 2-minute pitch and you didn't have enough time to pitch what you wanted to, you have an additional 30 seconds. So we will go in order, and I will be the timekeeper, as usual. So just make sure you don't stand in front of the camera there. So you can walk, but just don't block it. And when you come on up, make sure you speak into the microphone. Okay. Oh, this is great. Okay. All right. Come on up.
Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm representing Work in Progress NYC. We are a little collective or community of interdisciplinary artists, musicians, dancers, sculptors, writers, poets, digital, physical art, everything. And we're doing a little showcase at the end of the month, which is our annual showcase called Echoes. So we'll be exploring the theme of echoes through performance and gallery. So if you're all free, you can check us out and come to the event, and then come to the rest of our events as well. Thank you.
Manila, Manhattan, Queens, Brooklyn, Vancouver, Toronto. Anyone guess what these things have in common? I only have 30 seconds. Please guess. Okay, they all have Chinatowns. My name is Jason Sean. I'm a Filipino-Chinese Canadian guy that's been documenting Chinatowns around the world. If you want to follow the story, @JCION is my Instagram, and the project is called Diaspora. I have 15 seconds left. Yeah. It's been fun to document it. I'm also looking for conversations to get involved in the community and shoot in spaces that I can't access on the street as a street photographer. So thank you.
Hi everyone, I am Shiny, and I am a content creator, a writer, and aspiring filmmaker. I am hoping to work on several short form videos, specifically short narrative films and music video style content. And it's going to be inspired by poetry that I've written about love and relationships, so would love to collaborate with other AAPI creatives. So if you're a makeup artist, actor, producer, videographer, please feel free to reach out. Thank you so much.
Aloha mai kākou, aloha ahi ahi. My name is Satsu. I'm the founder and leader of Incorpus, which is a New York City-based initiative. We support embodiment and community connection through movement. We also amplify Indigenous and cultural artistry. We have a grant, and this summer we're starting to dive into research that's looking at dance, which is the movement form that we mainly work in, as the ancient technology that has evolved with us because it's vital to our existence and survival. And so if that speaks to you, the work that you do or the work that anybody that you know does, come talk to me. Thanks.
Hi everyone, my name is Florence Cecile Camacho-Almeda. I'm an electronic artist and a doula, a full spectrum birth doula. I have an immersive audio installation of meditative soundscapes I made for AAPI Birthing People and Birth Workers on June 1st at the Queen's Botanical Garden. I'd love to promote any healers at that event at a table, so please reach out if you want to be included on that resource list. Thank you.
Hello, it's me again. And I did make it clear, so my fourth documentary about immigrants, I'm looking for I'm looking for a community to collaborate to make to have events. So one of my events I just passed is an English as second language group, and it's we have just talk about home. And another one is I have a mental health film, and please talk to me. I'm going to.
Hi, I'm Robin. I create immersive music experiences. My next one is going to be this Friday in Chinatown at OS. It's called Smash Bros. Live. And my band plays all the music. We arrange the music for Super Smash Bros. As people compete in the tournament. So please tell a nerd who wants to heal their inner child and come through.
Hi everyone, my name is Agnes Chen. I am a Chinese-English bilingual writer, translator, cinephile, and feminist. I am collecting stories and oral history of Chinese diaspora and basically Chinese or Asian American feminists and artists, and basically everyone who has an interesting story to tell about transformation. So please come to me. I would love to hear your stories. Thank you.
Hello, my name is David Kwong Pham. My musical team of 19 members are putting up my musical Chemicals in the Water at the Tank on June 27, 28. It's about two chemicals who fall in love and form a toxic relationship after the train derails in the river. Very timely. And Cammy Wong in the back is singing a song for our cabaret on June 5 with Underground Skills Exchange. And a sample of a song. There are chemicals in the water turning my heart gay. Wait, okay? Freaking gay.
Hi everyone, my name is Zoe Habe. I have two things to share today. So the first thing is that I've written a performance piece about a love story that takes place at Guantanamo Bay between a guard and a prisoner. That's one thing I wanted to share. And segueing into the second thing is that I'd like to share that I have a friendship service called My Good Friend NYC, and go check that out. Okay.
All right, hi everyone, I'm Hilda. My pronouns are she, her. I am here to represent Palestinian Mental Health and Wellness. It's an Instagram page that emerged after October 2023. It was obviously in response to the genocide that's still ongoing in Palestine today. The premise of the page is a hub for people to find wellness events and healing all right, well, you can look it up more on the Instagram page. It's up there. Yeah, I'd love to elevate everybody's work as long as you're able to acknowledge the need for a ceasefire and the end of occupation and a liberation for all.
Hi everyone, my name is Mona Chopra, and I'll just
second Palm Wellness, so please check out Palm Wellness, an amazing organization I've been fortunate to connect with. I am an acupuncturist, a hypnotherapist, and a meditation teacher, and I have a healing arts center in here in Manhattan on 40th Street between Lex and Park, and we have space available. So if anyone is looking for a space, I'd love to connect. And of course, if you're looking for some therapies for yourself too. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jan again, and I have something called Asian American Art Club that I wanted to invite you all to. We meet weekly in Brooklyn, and it's a place for us to make art, share art, and make friends. And I built this community because I felt really lonely in making art, and I feel like being an artist in New York can feel really isolating, and sometimes you can be discouraged. And so I wanted to build this community so we can encourage each other as we keep making art. So come talk to me. Okay, bye.
Hello, my name is Danny. It's my first time here. I didn't really conceptualize this event that I co-organize here as healing, but perhaps it's relevant. It's called No Lights, No Lycra. It happens at Prime Produce sort of at the end of every month. We turn down the lights and there's no talking, no phones, and we just dance. I conceptualize it really as my exercise, but if people are wanting to shake out the stresses of the week, it's something that's quite nice to do.
So last chance for 30-second pitches. I have one. Okay, I barely read it. I just read it up. So I meant to add, we obtain a grant that's it'll end by August, and for July and August, we will be having spaces on Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. We will have, instead of having, because we are a multi-purpose space at St. Lydia's, and we basically make our rent through renting out to renters. And then this grant is also funding partly of, what some of the operation costs. But nevertheless, we have Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays available if you're interested for July and August. So just come talk to me.